I still remember when I got my offer letter. I was so excited, I couldn't even sleep, but at the same time, I was so nervous. I got imposter syndrome. And then when I got in, reality hit. 10 plus rejections from clubs, burnout from overstudying, and constantly compare myself to people who look like they got everything figured out. First year of business school was not easy, but looking back, every struggle, every quiet win, they actually turned into little gifts that I can bring with me into second year, and even beyond graduation. So, if you're about to start university, or if you're in business school right now and feeling a little lost, this video is for you. And in case you're new here, hi, I'm Charlene, and if you have seen my past vlogs, you know I wrapped up my first year of business school a couple months ago. And wow, it has been a year of growth, a lot of trial and error, and learning how to show up with discipline, but also being self-compassionate. So today, I want to share with you 8 gifts my first year gave me. And the reason I call them gifts, because I think of them as blessings. I think of them as little reminders and lessons that I know will serve me way past uni. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first gift is probably the hardest to learn, even for me. Your path is not their path. At the start of the year, I was scrolling through LinkedIn literally every day, seeing people my age land these insane internships, with scholarships, become executives in 5 clubs. And I would just sit there thinking, am I even supposed to be here? Especially after I got rejected from 10 plus club applications in my first semester. I felt stuck when everyone else was just ahead of me. But what I realized is that what you see on LinkedIn, or even what people show you in person when you see them, it is never the full picture. People have different backgrounds, connections, and maybe different opportunities have come your way. And just because they're thriving in one area doesn't mean you're behind. You're just on a different timeline. And when I finally stopped comparing and celebrated my little wins, I felt lighter. I felt more confident. I was more certain that everything will fall into place. Comparison still survives way faster than you think. But it doesn't mean you can't get inspired by others. And I don't mean by that. Getting inspired is a good thing. You learn from other people and you take those qualities and help yourself. But don't let it erase your own progress. You've put in the work and you absolutely deserve to be at where you are right now. Because nothing ever comes for free. I used to look at those same LinkedIn posts and think, wow, they're just naturally gifted. But when I started talking to upper years and even some profs, I realized that all those people were working crazy as hell behind the scenes. They weren't lucky. They just put in the hours that no one else even saw. And in my faculty, it felt like everyone was hustling, chasing a 90% average, going on exchange, stuck in internships, co-ops, case competitions, and club exec roles all at once. But here's the truth. They were grinding late at night. They stepped out of their comfort zones. They went on networking and talked to people. They may have failed, but they learned from the process, got up, and tried again. And I think that's actually really comforting, and I like that feeling. Because it means that if you are willing to show up consistently, the doors will open for you. Maybe not immediately, but eventually they will. Hard work always leaves receipts. It is you showing the world that, okay, here's what I did, and I totally deserve what is out there waiting for me. But just like everything else, all that hustle has a flip side, which brings me to the next gift of balance. I fell into this trap of thinking, okay, so since business school is competitive, I need to grind non-stop. If not, I will fall behind. So I cut myself off from literally almost everything you could think of. I didn't hang out with friends when class were in session. I sometimes skipped family gatherings just to study, and I didn't even have that much time to develop my own hobbies. And honestly, it backfired so bad. I burned out so hard, and my cumulative average didn't even get better. And the crazy part is, there's actual research to back this up. Stanford found that productivity drops after 49 hours of work a week. And by the time you hit 55, you're basically maxed out. And work at 70 hours, It's just the same output as working for 55. So why was I even torturing myself in the first place? I studied like 8 or 10 hours a day. Rest isn't a weakness, it's part of the game plan. If you're drained, your brain literally can't perform. And now, I treat rest as part of my work, as a non-negotiable on my to-do list on my calendar. And you may think, will my cumulative average drop like this? Nope. Cause girl, I wanna be a band with brains. I still push myself to get that high cumulative average, but I don't sacrifice my health or relationship for a few extra points on an exam. Cause at the end of the day, if you graduate with a 90+ average, but with no joy or energy left, is it worth it? On to gifts number 4, building connections. And if I have to be honest, first year, I was alone a lot. And it just made things way harder than they should be. University is already stressful, so having people to lift you up, hang out with you, or even just study with you makes such a difference. In our faculty, we stress so much about community, about finding like-minded people, getting together, and it helps you prepare so much for what is ahead of you. And speaking of community, there's networking. I know it sounds so scary and cliche, but in business, it is literally everything. Even within one industry, there is so many directions. Like say for marketing, there's product marketing, there's social media marketing, omnichannel marketing, sales. It's so easy to get lost. And honestly, you don't have to know your dream job in your first year, but networking is what helps you get there. For me, I started with small steps. I went to events organized by class in our faculty once or twice a month, regardless of my schedule. I talked to delegates, I talked to industry professionals, and then following up on LinkedIn. And when I say LinkedIn, girl, LinkedIn is gonna be your best friend when it comes to networking. Cause here's the truth, 70 to 80% of jobs are not even posted online. Never. It's the hidden job market, and you tap into that only by building real relationships and sustaining them. And if networking with professionals sound intimidating to you, because that's what happened to me, start with talking with up your students, or maybe even your peers. I booked coffee chats with people a year or two ahead of me, or I straight up booked office hours and went to talk to profs. And the advice they gave me on courses, internships, or even industry insights, literally priceless. It made me just realize that you don't have to figure it out alone. Now, I just treat networking like a casual coffee chat. And honestly, that is when people remember you the most. The next thing to do is to design your life with intention. And there's actually one whole book called Designing Your Life talking about this, and I'm gonna link it in the info box, because one of the classes I had this assignment actually kind of mirroring what that book talked about. We have to map out 3 possible 3-year life plans for academics, career, health, or even having fun. And it really forced me to sit down and think, where am I now? Where do I want to be? And what can I even do to get closer to that? And that exercise actually made me think so much on how much of university can just go if you don't think ahead. It doesn't mean you have to be 100% sure right now about what you want to do, but if you start shaping your path intentionally, you can save yourself so much time and energy. And at the end of the day, your life is yours. And that's exactly the motto of the university I'm attending right now, TUMAS. You don't have to copy anyone else's blueprint. But if you want to design your life, and if you don't know yourself well, how can you even do it? So that is gift 6. Know yourself and build your personal brand around it. When it comes to electives, a lot of people told me, take this science course, it is really good for boosting your GPA. As much as I want to boost my GPA, I knew science wasn't for me, so I didn't take it. I took political science instead, because I was interested in politics. People said it was harder, but I don't give a damn. I know it is for me, so that made me naturally put in the time and effort. Even if I was writing a almost 2,000 word paper and writing non-stop for the exam, I ended up with a really nice grade, and I love it. Same with extracurriculars. At first, I applied to every club you can think of. Like, I didn't even think. Accounting, marketing, young women business, health and wellness, I mentioned earlier, I got rejected from all of them. But I knew there was something wrong. I narrowed it down to areas I genuinely cared about. Marketing, fashion, entrepreneurship, health and wellness, etc., etc. I started landing interviews. I even got offered positions, and now I took up one of them. And I was so thrilled. I loved it so much. Here's the point. When you know yourself well, so easy for you to intentionally choose what you want to do. And that is when you start telling a story about yourself. That's personal branding. It's not about being fake. It's about aligning your choices so that they reflect who you actually are and where you want to go. So you can focus your energy and building something cohesive instead of scattering everywhere and don't even know if it works out or not. And next up, credits to the upper year student who told me about this when I didn't even know about it earlier, which is to treat every single assignment like portfolio work. What he told me was that don't just submit the minimum, because you never know when that project will come back and help you. And they were so right. That fair plan assignment I talked about earlier, in fact, they actually gave us a really basic template. I didn't even like it. So guess what? I designed my own version from scratch. It helped me explain my points 10 times better. It looked professional, and later I was even able to talk about it in interviews. I put it in my portfolio and talked about it. And same with the written assignments. You have to go up and beyond if you want actual success. And don't just meet the basic standard. Because when you go the extra mile, you can actually end up with something you may put in your portfolio or resume. And that makes all the difference. Lastly, after all of this, the most important thing is to just trust the process. For me, first year was hella messy. There were times when I doubted myself. Times I wanted to give up so bad. I even thought about switching to another faculty, but thank God I didn't. Let me remind you, growth is not a straight line. Sometimes it will be really abundant and full of wins, and sometimes you may just fall straight down like this. But they both matter because they are both part of the journey. And if you keep showing up, even when time is not perfect, things will naturally fall into place, and you will soon get to where you want to be. And on that note, those are the 8 gifts that first year of business school gave me. And honestly, I don't think of them as business lessons. They're life lessons. For me, first year is not just about being perfect. It's about creating your own life story and making it look good while you do it. It's about figuring yourself out and learning how to balance ambition with self-care. So, if you have gone through a first year already, let me know in the comments what your biggest lesson was. And if you're about to start your first year, I hope this video gave you a little reassurance that you don't have to get everything figured out. So, thank you for watching, and if you want more deep talks, daily vlogs like glow up advice, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.